Hey, what's up, my curious little calamansi? This is Rob from Gay Guy Plays, and today on #Confirmed, we are digging into Devstream 131 to see what new content is coming this month. Yes, let's pause for a little bit of shock and awe. We're actually getting content, and we're getting it pretty soon. Now, if you guys haven't already tuned in to the previous video that I did on Ember's Rework and the other video that I did on Vauban's Rework, I'll actually leave those linked up in the top corner because that is going to be a part of the upcoming mainline. Super duper excited. Now, the first thing that we're actually going to be jumping into is not a part of that mainline. I know it's a really bad setup, but they did touch on this very quickly, so I figured we should go ahead and knock that out. They did kind of spotlight a little bit of a graphic for the Imperium update. As they stated before, it is going to be coming in 3 steps. The first one is the dry dock, so we'll actually be able to start building that. Not sure if it's coming with the main line, but the next piece is actually going to be take flight, so we'll be able to start exploring, and the last bit is find answers. Now, maybe that's exactly where the quest portion takes place or where new war starts picking up, but Rebecca did state that she didn't want to give any spoilers, so she actually had to change the name of that last one. So that is something for those of you guys who are wondering what isn't coming this month. That's a thing. But you know what is coming this month? Grendel. He is going to be the new star of the latest mainline. So I'm very excited for that. Plus, he looks a little bit like a pumpkin. So, I mean, it kind of goes on with this whole, you know, Halloween spoopy update that we're going to be ending up getting. Now, another thing that is going to be coming with the update is actually some work to Melee 3.0. They did state that this was going to be coming at the end of the month, but they did not exactly say how much of it is. As we go through, you'll see what I mean. So we've actually got stance reworks, and that they have been simplified. Now, here's the issue with this. They said lots of stances, and I was under the impression that Melee 3.0 was actually going to be shipping out in parts, so they did not specify which stances, how many stances was coming out, but they did say lots of stances. So maybe we'll be seeing the whole thing, maybe we'll be seeing a good amount of weapons coming out. Cross your fingers that it's more than less. Next up, they are going to be doing the mod conversions, and this part is the part that kind of shocked me. Like I was saying, I thought, I was under the impression that they were going to go and transition one weapon at a time, but they did say that they were going to go ahead and take care of all of those conversions for any of the Melee mods that don't translate directly into Melee 3.0. They also said that they're going to be working on big changes to Melee channeling, so hopefully we see that as well. Last time we checked, it was going to be kind of like a limit break system, so I hope we still get something kind of cool with that. They also joked around about Melee juggling. You know, they said they're going to demonstrate it live on stream with Steve and Scott, but even though it is a joke, I'm wondering if that's something that's actually going to be included in. They also stated the Melee meter is going to change and that Melee is going to do, and I quote, a hell of a lot of damage. So it looks like we're going to be getting damage boosts as well. I'm really excited to see exactly what they launch. It was kind of nebulous as to exactly the quantities that we're getting, but apparently we're going to get our first installment at the end of the month. Now, continuing on with the kind of weapon train, they also talked about a new feature that is going to be available on our primaries and secondaries, which is Excellus weapon slots. Now, I actually took a quick look at what mods were included in this on their screen. Of course, that is the dev build, so it might not be a finalized list. They might remove some things, they might add other things, but it did look like we had reload speed, weapon silencing, max ammo, clip size, and a couple of the kind of like set mods were in there as well that look to be attached to like parkour, you know, all of that weird shit. So I actually think that this is kind of cool. However, there are other effects that we should definitely be aware of. First and foremost, they did state that this is going to be a new item. So this is not going to be the, you know, current Excellus adapter that we have. We're not going to be able to use those for weapons, but it's actually going to be something completely different that I'm sure will be available in the market to pay for, and I'm sure they'll find different ways for us to earn it too. But alongside that, you also have to keep in mind that because of the fact that there is going to be an Excellus slot available for these weapons, that we're also probably going to have to end up repolarizing or adding more polarities to the weapons we currently have. Because of the fact that, you know, we don't have enough mod capacity for a whole nother mod. Well, some of us, depending on the build that you have, especially when it comes down to Rivens. So while this is a great benefit for us, because I know a lot of people have been asking for Excellus slots on mods, like, you know, like, when are we going to use ammo mutation? Well, I like using ammo mutation, but, you know, not a lot of people do like weapon silencing or clip size boosts and all of that kind of stuff. So it's nice to have that kind of stuff included in, but also, while it's good for us, it's also good for DE's pockets because they'll be making more money off of Forma, whether it's a Forma bundle or whether it's rushing Forma or whether it's picking up these Excellus weapon adapters. Keep that in mind. Moving along, we are actually going to be getting a Halloween event, and I'm crossing my fingers that this time around it's not going to be the pumpkin juggernaut that we get every year. In fact, DE did state on the dev stream that it's going to be a different take of the boss fight that we currently have for this session of Nightwave. So the Zealot Prelate guy, it's going to be like that, but one key thing that I noted was that D. Rebecca specifically said that we have to survive long enough in a Halloween event. So I don't know what you mean by survive long enough. Maybe it's going to be an endless version of the Zealot Prelate fight, which kind of sounds interesting, and I can't wait to play around with it. But the reward for that, if we survive long enough, as DE Rebecca had stated, is a bat ephemera. I know it's stupid, and I know that I should not be getting excited about fashion framey kind of stuff, but legitimately, I've collected all of the ephemera through blood, sweat, and tears. I've managed it, and I want to make sure that my collection stays topped off. So it's nice to add another one of those into the roster. However, one of the things that I will say is when it comes to holiday event stuff, we don't always get to keep stuff from it. So it'll be nice to have this because we don't get to keep the pumpkin head. Moving along, the other thing that will be coming, at least it seemed like it was coming with the Halloween event, or it was pretty thematic, was we're actually going to be getting a new Kavat. It is a Vampiric Kavat, and it's going to be DE's solution to like the Helmuth Charger. You know how, you know, we have to spawn a Helmuth using assist. It seems like there's going to be another different way to get this new breed of Kavat, and Rebecca, in all of her spoilery glory, was like, well, you know, a lot of us know how vampires work, and, you know, this is going to involve conservation out in the wild of the plains of Eidolon, and, you know, you might have to bring in your own Kavat. So what it sounds like is we need to have our Kavat fight the vampiric cat, and our cat needs to get bitten and it'll turn into a vampire. I'm just saying. Now, interestingly enough, the vampiric Kavat also looked to be invisible for a portion of it, so I'm wondering if that's going to be a part of the actual skill set for the Vampiric Kavat, because as many of you guys know, the Helmuth Charger did have its own unique skill set. So I'm kind of crossing our fingers that, you know, maybe we'll get something cool out of it, and also maybe get some set mods too, because the Helmuth Charger got set mods. So Vampiric Kavat, let's get those set mods going on in. Now, as you guys could probably tell from my previous two videos, I have been very, very happy with the Ember Rework. The Vauban Rework is a little more bland, but I mean, listen, it's pretty cool too. I'm excited for Vampiric Kavats, and I know it sounds petty, but I do really like that bat ephemera. So I'm gonna toss DE a bone, and we're gonna take a quick look at the Titania Deluxe skin. I know! It's a shocker, but when I first looked at it, I was like, oh my god, look at those metallics. It looks absolutely beautiful. I love the texturing. I love the line work. I could just picture all of the razor flies buzzing around it. You know, I've always stated, DE's art team could never do wrong, unless it's a Tenogen Loki skin that they fucked up majorly on. Just saying. Actually, you know what? I'm going to toss it out there. This is the only kind of Titania coverage that you're going to get until DE removes that forced vacuum. And here's the thing, it doesn't need to be removed, it can just be optional. Listen, you care about your players having different options, so make this happen. And guess what? If you do, I'll buy something. I'll make sure, I'll toss a little money down. I'll put my money where my mouth is. Regardless, those are all of the things that are actually going to be coming with this next mainline update. There is one last thing that I wanted to go ahead and have a quick chat about, which of course is the Kuva Lich. Now, there was a lot of information given about this, so I really wanted to almost dedicate an entire video to it, but I did want to touch on it really quickly. So they stated one of the big things that the Kuva Lich is going to offer is difficulty. However, I am very curious to how much difficulty it will offer. They actually zoomed into certain parts of the map that are going to be under the influence of the Kuva Lich. So I'm wondering if those entire areas are going to contain more difficult enemies, because difficulty is something that we need in Warframe. Everybody needs it in order for progression. But a couple notes is that they will be randomly generated. Their progenitors, or whoever killed them, will kind of dictate what they morph into, because they are procedurally generated. So they'll have different stats, different weaknesses, different oddities, and we'll get to that in a second. After you kill them, you have two options. You can either vanquish them, which means that you will get their weapon. The interesting part about their weapon is they are unique variants of weapons that already exist in game. They will be able to level higher, which means more mod capacity, and they'll actually have like maybe different elements or different features added into them, which I think is very, very interesting. However, they will not count for mastery rank because, of course, they're procedurally generated weapons, and there's gonna be like way too many out there. Next up, you can actually, instead of vanquishing them for their weapon, you can get them converted over onto your side. Now, they didn't say too much about this, but they did kind of mention the fact that, you know, they will come to assist you in your time of need. So I don't know if it's going to be maybe like the Arlo thing where sometimes his zealots would come and try to like revive you in a mission, or maybe you'll have someone fight for you, whatever. I honestly have no idea. The next way, the way they look, their powers and their bonuses are all dictated by the Warframes that killed them. And lastly, which is the cutest thing ever, they're all gonna have oddities. Well, not all of them, but sometimes they'll be generated with oddities. They said that they're gonna create a strange gameplay affecting behavior. So the ones that we actually saw were cautious and clumsy, so that might talk about the influence on their AI, and I'm kind of glad that DE is doing something cool with their AI. And lastly, they joked about this, but I'm kind of wanting to see this in game. But another one of the oddities are hates children. Which, listen, this could be great gameplay for you to use your operator on them, right? I just think that that is very creative and very different. I like when DE does weird shit, but sometimes they also need to get down to business and do the shit that we ask them for. Regardless, that's going to be it from the Devstream. Let me know what things you were really, really excited to. Don't forget, I'm actually going to leave a link down in the description box below if you did not catch the rework videos. Especially check out the Ember one because it is massive. We're talking about changing the way that status effects work in-game, kind of massive. So I'll toss that down in the description box below. Regardless, let me know how your feelings are. Are you guys excited about this next mainline update that's coming? Toss that down in the comments as well. And as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. But not that trash, garbage, flying, fly, queen, gross. I'll see you guys next time. Bye!